Beam me up, Scotty. These are words that have enticed the next generation and have turned all of our heads to the stars. These are words that speak of the future, and mainly they speak of science fiction's greatest trope, teleportation. So what is teleportation? Well, in classical teleportation, it is the process of analyzing all of the matter at point A and then recreating it exactly to the electron at point B. Depending on which author you talk to, it destroys the original or it maintains the original. And it is fiction. However, in today's world, we have quantum teleportation, and researchers at IBM have managed to teleport one atom, and that's it. We haven't gone any farther than that, and as it turns out, quantum teleportation has such a large engineering problem that it's not going to be viable in the near future. And I certainly am not qualified to give a TEDx talk on the subject. But while quantum teleportation won't be coming anytime soon, there is something that is quickly becoming a reality, and that's called projection. So what is projection? Well, the definition is the depiction of an image on a screen, much like my name and the title of my speech on this screen. Projection is something that happens at cinema on the silver screen. But this isn't teleportation. This isn't helping anyone here. Well, if you think of your mind as the image and your body as the screen, then if you are able to project your mind onto a different body, onto a different screen, then you would be able to essentially teleport your will to a different place in reality. But in order for you to do this, you would need a screen. And when you think of the screen, you think of the body. The body has one function, and that's to act as your being. It's your means, your mind's means of interacting with reality using your five senses and to directly manipulate the world around you. So, in order to create a screen that can hold the image of your mind and be able to manipulate the world as if it was your own body, you would have to be able to emulate your five senses and be able to maintain your motion and your ability to interact with the world. So let's begin. The first sense that I'd like to talk about is vision. It's your sight, because, well, this is the easiest to comprehend. Virtual reality is quickly becoming one of the biggest industries in the Silicon Valley, and companies like Samsung and Facebook-owned Oculus are tackling the problem of virtual reality. For those who don't know, it's an image. Virtual reality is a way to replace your sight of the world around you with visions of a different place entirely. And so if I were standing here and I put on an Oculus headset and turned it on, I would be able to look around into a virtually created world as if I was looking into the real world. Well, there are cameras being created right now that are able to track the world around you and are able to send that image to you. So then, if you were to put on that headset, I could see something outside of here and look around, have the same vision as if I was there. In a similar manner, audiophiles around the world are creating 3D audio and are able to map what we hear and emulate it in a different location. So if I were to put a sensor somewhere, it would be able to listen to all of the sounds and then recreate it exactly so that I could hear them where they would be in space. But while we can see and we can hear as if we were in that location, we need to be able to manipulate the world. We need to be able to move. Recently, DARPA researchers, DARPA is the primary research institute for our US government. Recently, they have created these robotic limbs, these prosthetics, that when attached to the mind or to the brain via sensors are able to be controlled naturally. You see, they gave these to a quadriplegic who had lost the ability to move their arm. And across the room, this quadriplegic was able to move their arm, their new robotic arm, with such a degree of precision that they were able to shake hands. And so we have these robotic limbs that can move at your will with just a thought. But we need to be able to feel. We need that sense of touch as well. Well, in the same example, they gave a quadriplegic who had lost touch from their waist up, lost the sensation of touch. They were able to give that back to them. And so they gave the quadriplegic an arm, and having them look away, touched whichever finger on that person's prosthetic. And that person was able to feel it. And they were able to feel from this robotic limb when they had lost their sense of touch. And they were able to feel once more. So what do we have? We have a body that can be controlled with the mind, that can be controlled with such a degree of precision that you can do human activities. You have a body that can send the feelings of touch, these sensations, back to the user. You have someone who can see the world around them, interact with it as if they were there, and can hear the world. So we have all of the essential senses, or smell doesn't really matter. And then you have a body that is able to be your screen, that you can project your mind onto. Now, what is a practical use of this? Why would I preach about projection? So recently I watched and read Andy Weir's The Martian, and spoiler alert, things don't go well for the man on Mars. He's immediately put into an incredible amount of danger, and not only this, all of this danger could be avoided. Because while we put people onto Mars in order to have all of the degree of versatility of the human body, that's not necessary to put them in harm's way. If we had people fly around, if we had the astronauts fly around Mars and project themselves onto bodies onto Mars, they could do everything a human could do without ever being in harm's way. And so this is just one of the examples I have of how projection could shape space exploration in the future, but it could also do things here on Earth. You could, say, project yourself into a body in a different country in order to get a business deal done. You could do what you need to without ever leaving your home. And so while the future we like to think of has "beam me up, Scotty" as its mantra, and the next generation would love to teleport, we can't. But instead, maybe we could do something else. Maybe in the future we could say, "Project me down, Scotty." Thank you.